And since I was from a like tier 3 college, there was always that pressure, like you have to know DSA and development to even stand a chance during placements. Placed in a team where the tech stack was completely new to me, and like it was .NET and PLSQL. So I realized that like there's a core set of skills that every data engineer needs. So once I completed the course I mentioned earlier, so I started applying externally. I just explained my whole story. I'm not gonna lie in this interview, but I just told them honestly that I'm interested in data side. Yeah, there were total of 4 rounds. Then in the first 2 rounds, there like that were technical.
Hey everyone, so on my platform Grow Data Skills, in last 2 years we have taught more than 15,000 aspiring data professionals, and you know what, among them who feels really demotivated, the folks who are coming from the different job profiles, like trying to transition from testing, Java developer or software engineer kind of background to the data engineering profile. They consider it very challenging, and that is the part where demotivation comes into the picture. But I have answered this thing 100 times that if you have the right and most demanding skill set of the data engineering profile, not the old school tech stack, plus multi-cloud knowledge and the good industry grade projects in your resume, your GitHub, your portfolio, then you are pretty much sorted. These kind of transitions are really possible. But these are my words. How can someone believe it? For that, you need a real world example. And that is why this podcast is here, because our today's guest speaker has actually done this kind of successful transition, literally coming from the .NET kind of background and recently got a job in the product based company for the data engineer role, that too with a very handsome salary. So make sure to watch this podcast till the very end, because she will be sharing all her experience, that how she actually did it, what kind of skill set she focused on, how she prepared her resume, what kind of career related different questions she was getting in the interviews, how she tackled it, how she prepared her resume, what kind of projects she worked on, how the interview process will look like if you are basically going through with this kind of transition route, what all things the interviewers can expect, how you can deal with it. Every single thing she has talked about it in depth, including all the salary insights as well. So make sure to watch it till the very end and get all the important insights so that you can also do these kind of successful transition. And if you are new to the channel, then make sure to hit the subscribe button as well and press the notification icon so that you don't miss these kind of motivational stories. And if you are also an aspiring data professional and literally trying to get into the data engineering but still confused and have no clue that what kind of skills need to acquire, how to study, how to get that practical project experience, then you are at the right place, because on my platform Grow Data Skills, I have created complete data engineering basic to advanced bootcamps with multi-cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, GCP, and everything in depth. So if you are someone who does not even know the D of data engineering, this is the exact thing you were looking for. I have actually put my personal experience of working in the data engineering domain for more than 8+ years. Whatever kind of problems I have solved, those kind of practical projects I have built in this bootcamp. So things will be starting from the SQL, big data, Hadoop, Hive, NoSQL databases, MongoDB, Cassandra, Spark, Kafka, GCP, PubSub, Airflow, Snowflake, Databricks, data warehousing, data modeling, and lot of things from the GCP, Azure, AWS, plus more than 15+ industry grade projects which you can definitely add in your GitHub. And as I experienced, and lot of students have actually cracked the interviews based on this project itself. And along with all these things, dedicated doubt support plus dedicated placement assistance, including resume preparation, LinkedIn profile making, Naukri profile optimization, quizzes, assignments, their solutions, interview preparation guide for every single topic taught during the sessions. So I have personally created these amazing top quality boot camps for you at a very affordable cost, so that anyone can get started with the data engineering from today itself. So the link has been given in the description. You can check that out and you can get started with data engineering today. If you have any doubt, any query, you want to talk to me, this is the WhatsApp number and the calling number itself. You can drop a DM and call us anytime. We'll be able to help you. Plus, you will be also getting the certificate of completion for completing the data engineering bootcamp. So why are you waiting now? Link in description. Join today. So thank you so much, Eesha, for joining me in this podcast. Really excited to have a discussion about your journey into the data engineering. But first of all, would like to have your short introduction. Anything about your education background, where you worked previously, and currently where are you working?
Okay, so thank you, Shashank, for introducing me. As Shashank introduced, like my name is 𝗍𝗶𝗶. So I basically graduated in the year of 2023 from Lovely Professional University. So then I got my first job and I was working with Infineon Technologies there as a .NET developer. So I made the switch and then I am like currently working as the data engineer SD1 in Games 24/7. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
Awesome. Yeah, this journey is going to be pretty exciting. At least you can see .NET to a data engineer developer transition. So this is very interesting, Eesha. So quick follow-up question. You graduated from the CS IT stream itself, right? In
Yes,
2023?
Yeah,
Okay,
computer science and
perfect.
engineering it was.
So, Eesha, now touching upon your college life, because we all know 2021 was that year for the COVID, right? So, a lot of things got hampered. So, share something about your college life, how it went, what were your plans when you were completing, what you were actually thinking for your future, and obviously your first job, how did you get it, and why you choose that .NET profile?
Okay, so to be honest, like during my college life, I wasn't very clear like about which field I wanted to go into. I was just trying to figure things out like everyone else. So most of my friends around me were diving into full stack development and doing DSA. And since I was from a like tier 3 college, there was always that pressure, like you have to know DSA and development to even stand a chance during placements. So yeah, I just started following the crowd without really knowing where it would lead. So then in my third year, I got an internship at Infineon Technologies, and like thankfully that turned into a PPO, and I joined them full time after graduation. So, like when I
Okay.
joined, I was placed in a team where the tech stack was completely new to me, and like it was .NET and PLSQL. So I hadn't worked on it before, but yeah, that's where I actually started learning and understanding real world project dynamics.
Okay, and how much you were getting and how much you were earning for this .NET developer profile?
Okay, so I can say that it was not very much. Like as a fresher in that company, the salary wasn't too high. I was just earning around like 11 to 12 LPA as a .NET developer. But for me, like at that point, the focus was more on gaining experience and learning like
Yeah.
how things are working in prod.
Now I have another follow-up question. I mean, since you mentioned you did not take things very seriously, what is that one thing which you regret the most? Now you are like working in the data engineering and in the industry. So what do you like regret the most? You could have done better during your college time, like if you thought about it ever.
Okay, so I can say that I don't regret as such anything because the background which I belong to was like totally new to me. There was not any senior who was guiding me, and also I belong to a COVID batch. Okay, so I just like I deep dive into things. Like I took courses, I explored different fields like data fields, machine learning, everything. Like even full stack, I tried different projects. Then I decided my niche that I'll be working into this field.
Cool. So, as I said, I mean, first, when we had our discussion, I was also very surprised that someone switched from the .NET developer and now you're working as a data engineer. So, when and how did you decide to move ahead with the data engineering profile itself as a full-time career option? How did you find this interest? As you mentioned, in college itself, you did not explore this domain. So, how did it come into the picture out of the blue and you just started with it?
Okay, so I can say that the transition actually happened quite organically. Like while I was working at Infineon, I was heavily involved with SQL, like writing queries and working on backend logic, even using PLSQL. So over time, I realized that I genuinely enjoyed like working with data, especially when it came to like optimizing queries and improving performance. then that curiosity pushed me to dig deeper. Like I wanted to understand data flows, how to make systems faster, and like even how large scale data architectures work. So yeah, I just started exploring more about the data space, like what are the different like available roles: data analyst, data scientist, and data engineer. And through that exploration, I decided that I want to go into this field. And also I can say that what really clicked for me was that I still wanted to be in a software development role, but on the data side. So that's where data
Right.
engineering fits perfectly, right? It's technical, involves a lot of problem solving, and has direct business impact through data pipelines and systems.
Since you already answered this thing, else my follow-up question was why didn't you choose data science or data analyst? But you already answered that it is close to software engineering and you enjoy doing it. So yeah, that's the perfect thing. Cool, awesome. Now I guess maybe just like you, there will be other entry-level freshers as well who might be in the similar situation, working in different profile and aspire to become the data engineer. So, in this transition journey, what kind of data engineering skills you acquired, you focused on, and maybe in a short way, if I can say, what was that step by step detailed roadmap did you follow for yourself? Like, I started with these things, mastered till this point, and then I appeared for the interview. So, how was that one?
Okay, so I realized that like there's a core set of skills that every data engineer needs. So like first up SQL, like that is non-negotiable. It is the main tool you will use to interact with data. Then like
Right.
next up Python. This is where the automation and logic comes in. Like whether you are cleaning data, building ETL pipelines, Python just makes it all easier. Then you will also need to know the like databases, both relational ones like Postgres or MySQL, and non-relational like MongoDB. It's about basically understanding where and how data is stored, right? So now let's talk about tools like Airflow and DBT. So these are like super useful for building reliable data workflows. Airflow
Yeah.
helps schedule and manage your pipelines, while DBT lets you write modular SQL transformations
Right.
that are easy to maintain, right? Then there is big data tools. That's where Spark and Hadoop comes in. So these help in when you are working with huge amounts of data that can't
Right.
be handled by normal databases. So Spark's really powerful for processing large data sets fast. And of course, like everything is moving to the cloud these days. So you will need to be comfortable with either AWS, Azure, or GCP. Finally, some theory is also important too, like data warehousing and modeling, understanding concepts like star schemas, fact and dimension tables. It helps make sure what you are building is useful and scalable. I know, like, it sounds like a lot, but yeah, you don't need to learn everything at once. Start with SQL and Python, then you can get comfortable and build from there.
Yeah, yeah. That's why data engineering profile is growing really fast, and a lot of people like it because of the variety of the tech stack and use cases it has. So it's definitely true that there are a lot of things to learn, but that will be really important if you really want to get into this field. So I have quick and a small follow-up question. You mentioned about the cloud part as well. So for you to get started with, which cloud platform you find easy and you started with?
So I started with AWS because okay, so there was your course of like of Grow Data Skills, which was data engineering with AWS. So yeah, I chose AWS.
So do you like AWS?
No,
You are
yeah,
able to
totally,
understand it?
totally. Yes, yes, it's great.
Yep, cool. And since AWS being the biggest market player in the cloud domain, still it is in the top list, right? It is dominating. But Azure, no doubt, it is picking up really fast. And I always believe, and I have said this thing to all my fellow students, that you learn one cloud platform, learning another one is just a matter of 1 to 2 weeks, not more than that, right? It's just a simple implementation change, costing change, that's it.
Basically, the functionalities are same only, even the services are
Exactly,
different.
exactly. Like all three have created services for data warehousing, compute,
Exactly.
serverless functions, and all that. So it's all same there. Since you are working as a .NET developer,
how did you get the interview calls for the data engineer role? I know you have explained you acquired the right skill set, worked on the good projects, which is must to do to get the calls. How did you adjust that experience in your resume? How did you convince the interviewers that although I'm in the .NET profile, how I can bring the data engineering skills and things onto the table? So how did it happen overall?
Okay, so I gave myself around 3 months where I focused purely on learning. After that, I internally transitioned into a data focused team by clearing the interview process within the company. But honestly, that internal move wasn't enough because the role wasn't very data heavy. I know that if I wanted to grow as a proper data engineer, I needed real hands on exposure. So I just started building side projects on my own. So once I completed the course I mentioned earlier, so I started applying externally. Now the real challenge was how to position myself because
Yeah.
my past roles weren't purely data engineering. Adjusting that experience in the resume required a bit of smart storytelling, you know. So what I did was I put the data tech stack first, like things like SQL, DBT, BigQuery, Python, right at the top. Then in the work experience section, even if I had used .NET or React, I made sure to emphasize anything related to data, that all of that was highlighted. Okay,
Okay.
then the idea was that when someone glances at my resume, they shouldn't be thinking .NET developer, they should see data engineer immediately. Yeah.
Right.
Then
Correct.
yeah, and in the interviews I was just honest. I told them I transitioned internally, upskilled through projects and a course, explained how I'm applying those concepts now, but I made sure I could talk deeply about what I actually built. So even small
Right.
projects, and that really I can say that really helped me gain credibility, you know.
So, like for these type of transition stories, do interviewer ask like these questions? Maybe like why you are transitioning, you are not working as the like
Yes, yeah,
.NET or
in few
front end
interviews.
developer. Yeah. So, how did you tackle this? I mean, what they really think about a candidate?
Actually, I just explained my whole story. I'm not gonna lie in this interview, but I just told them honestly that I'm interested in data side. If you want, you can just ask me questions. And if you think I'm the right candidate, then definitely we can move forward with it.
Awesome. So you like literally believed on the skills you acquired and
Yeah.
whatever practically you could work, that was just that helped you to crack it. Now you have bagged the offers from multiple companies and Games 24/7 was also one of them. So can you share the detailed interview process, like in general, how many interview rounds were there, and in each round, what type of questions at your experience level for the data engineering profile the interviewers were asking?
Okay, so yeah, there were total of 4 rounds. Then in the first 2 rounds, there like that were technical. In round one, they focused on DSA. I got questions from arrays, binary search, BFS. Like they were mostly lead code medium level questions. The interviewer then really dove into like different approaches and optimizations. Then we moved on to projects and system design, like things like ETL pipeline optimization, like why I choose Spark over Hive in few of my projects, then Kafka ingestion, compression techniques. Then there was also a deep dive into advanced SQL part, like especially window functions and some tricky based queries. Then round two was even more technical. Like we discussed Spark performance tuning, my experience with AWS, and like team dynamics from my previous role. So
Okay.
the focus was on Spark SQL, especially like handling nested JSON, schema consistency, and some like partitioning logic. Then I can say round three was a bit different. Like it was more of a problem solving and strategy discussion round. So like the interviewer assessed my ability to think beyond the technical stuff, more like how I would approach problems, stay updated with the industry trends, and how I'd align my decisions with the business goals. So yeah.
Okay.
Then finally, round four was with CEO and founder Bhavin. It was more of a cultural and like fit, like team fit round. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing it in detail. That would be really helpful for the folks who are preparing for the DE roles. So I have another important question, which I know these people are waiting for to get answered. Can you also highlight few important tips to make an impactful data engineering resume? Since you applied at multiple product-based companies, your resume got shortlisted. So anything, any special thing you followed to create it?
Okay, so when it comes to building resume, especially if you are transitioning or don't have a traditional DE background, a few things really matter. Like first, starting with the tech stack. The top of your resume should instantly tell the recruiter that you are into data. So I made sure
Okay.
to list the tools like SQL, Python, Spark, Kafka, then Airflow, right at the beginning. This creates a clear impression like, okay, this person is working in the data space. Second, tailor your work experience around data, even if your role wasn't fully into it. For example, I had worked in .NET and React before. I didn't just write developed UI or things like that. I focused on anything that does data. Maybe I was fetching data via APIs, writing SQL queries, or working with backend services. I just highlighted those bits more. Third, you have to quantify wherever you can. If I improved query performance or automated a report, I added metrics like reduced runtime by 30% or saved X hours of manual effort daily. So, numbers always catch attention.
Okay.
Make sure that at a glance, my resume reads like a data engineer's resume. Even if other stuff like front end or .NET was there, I let it stay in the background. So basically, it's just smart wordplay and knowing what to highlight.
Yep, absolutely. And this matters a lot. And thanks for highlighting it. Anyone should follow it if you are coming from the similar sort of background. So, another important question, Eesha, like how are you applying for these data engineering job opportunities? I mean, it was like via some job hunting platform or referrals or just cold emailing. How did it happen? How did you get the calls from so many good product based companies?
Okay, so for applying to data engineer roles, I made sure that my LinkedIn and GitHub were solid. I added all my projects, even the small ones, just to show a real hands-on with SQL, Python, Airflow, etc. Then LinkedIn
Okay.
jobs helped, but honestly, most of the data engineering jobs I have seen are on 𝗏ockery and 𝗏@. Like these
Okay.
platforms are kind of underrated for DE roles, but they are gold. One big tip I would say, like, don't wait to feel fully ready. I started applying midway through my course because here's what happens. Like over time, your resume starts getting boosted in their systems, and
Right.
after a few weeks, you will notice recruiters from both like small and big companies reaching out. Sometimes you will be getting, in fact, like 2-3 calls a day. So yeah,
Okay.
and then I can say that referrals really help. I just reached out to people in the data field, had casual chats, and many times referrals followed naturally.
That's good. Yeah, and I guess the platforms you mentioned in 𝗏cie_PHI and 𝗏ockery, they are really helpful until unless you know how to use them precisely. Cool. So I have just one last question, Eesha, for our podcast. Since you have now gained almost 2 years of experience, like graduating from 2023. So at this experience level, targeting good product based companies, decent product based companies, what is the average CTC these companies are offering? If you can like highlight some range, because you must have negotiated with different companies. They would have given some numbers that we are offering this much. So what is that average someone can expect at this experience level?
Okay, so I can say in product based companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Flipkart, or even some data heavy companies, they pay like the pay for data engineers is actually on par with SDs. Like if you crack those tougher interviews, you can expect anywhere around like 20 to 25 LPA in your 0 to 2 years of experience range. I'm
Great.
talking about CTC. Then the main reason is like in these companies, data is core to the product. So the work is more complex and impactful. That's why they value data engineers just as much they value like software developers. So yeah, like if you are targeting these companies, it's important to not just focus on data tools, but also DSA, system design, and problem solving, because the interviews like are structured very similar to SDE rules.
Product based companies will have a slightly different expectation from you if you compare it with service and consulting. So yeah, if you want that good CTC, you have to prepare yourself in that way too. Cool. Awesome. This was really insightful, Eesha. Thanks. You had some time for us, and you shared your entire experience, which is really insightful and helpful for all the aspiring data engineers who are watching this podcast. So I am really thankful, and a big thanks from the entire audience side that you came here and shared your wonderful experience with us.
Thank you so much, Shashank, for having me, and I hope like this will help someone out there who is trying to break into the data world.
Absolutely, it will do.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much I had for all of you in this amazing podcast. I'm pretty sure you have got an amazing experience from Eesha, that how she actually transitioned from the .NET job role to the data engineer. If you find it informative, then make sure to show your love and like it in the big numbers. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon, and I will see you guys really soon with another amazing podcast. Till then, you can check out Grow Data Skills platform. Link has been given in the description, or you can visit www.growdataskills.com and get started with your data engineering journey by taking part in my complete data engineering bootcamp, basic to advanced, with multi-cloud platforms. So don't miss this opportunity. Join it today.